My math buddy Kara just finished the 2nd grade. She understands math concepts very well, and I was always impressed each time with how much she knew and how well she would do. She met all 4 of the 4 different learning indicators. Anytime she would be struggling, she would accept my help and direction well and was eager to learn. If I had to correct her, she didn't get upset or question me. She would listen while I explained what was wrong and was receptive to what I told her. Before starting Game 4, I gave her the dice and asked her if she knew the largest and the smallest total that we could roll. She knew the largest would be 15 and the smallest was 5. She was very fluent with adding basic facts. I had her tell me my roll total also while playing, and she knew them very quick and fluently. She would think a little on some of the higher totals, but she would still figure them out in her head. She was also able to tell me all of the addition combinations to equal to 10. She had to think for a bit on the last one that she needed. It was 8 plus 2, but she did remember it on her own. While playing the game, I asked her where I would move to with a plus 10 roll on the hundreds chart that we were using as our game board, and she knew that I would need to move right below it. She also knew that I would need to move right above for subtracting 10. She knew the pattern on the hundreds chart and was very fluent with it. Before playing the game, I asked her many problems adding and subtracting 10, and she knew them all fluently. She was also very fluent on all math facts within 20. She didn't need to use her fingers or the hundreds chart. She was able to solve them all in her head. She could count while playing Game 6, she could count by 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s fluently, especially to 20. For the 3s and 4s, she had to think a little bit once she would hit 20 by counting by them, but she did very well counting to 20 for all of them. She did struggle with counting by 6s. Getting to 18 was no problem, but then she had to think for a bit in her head to get to 24, and then she did know 30, and I asked her how she knew that the next would be 30, and she said because she knew 6 plus 4 was 10. I was very impressed that she was able to figure that out. On one of her turns during this game, I asked if she understood how to write 3 times 6 as addition to get the same answer, and she wasn't sure what I meant, so I explained that adding 3 6 times, going 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and then she understood. And for the following different rolls that we rolled during the game, she and I would discuss making them into addition problems, and I think this helped her to relate addition and multiplication together. Working with this student taught me that giving them time for thinking and processing their thoughts benefits them tremendously. There were many times that if we just sat quietly while she thought things through and processed the information in her head, she would come to the correct answer, and it would help her tremendously in relating and getting all the math concepts down. While working with my younger math buddy, I learned that just making some quick adaptations, like writing out a number line for them to use, will help them tons and be just what is needed. So I'll remember that in the future, that sometimes all you need is just a quick adaptation. Working with these 2 age groups, I realized how big of a jump in knowledge there is in just these 3 short years difference. I was kind of surprised how much my older math buddy knew compared to my younger math buddy, just in those 3 short grade levels that they had different. Doing this these math games and things like that taught me that I do enjoy teaching math, because these lessons were fun, and this is what is needed to teaching math, to make it enjoyable and relatable for the children.